I just think, you say that we're not making this personal. I bet Barack Obama and Joe Biden are a blast to have a beer with.
I bet you not. I'm telling you, no. I do not. That is one thing. I believe that Barack Obama is the first graduate of the politically correct university of the 1980s and the 1990s, of speech codes. This is a guy who was so effortlessly excelled at Columbia and Occidental. He obviously did. Because he traversed. He won't give you his grades. Not because he didn't get A's, because they don't want you to see the post-structuralist courses that he was taking, because he said in his biography, I like to hang out with the Marxist professors.
Yeah, the
Chicanos, which Marxist professors? We're not allowed to even ask these questions. That's not American, that your political enemy controls the narrative and says you can't ask these questions. They're off limits. And so my battle isn't a political battle. You'll never see me talking about policy. I have no desire to talk about policy, but I like to talk about culture. I like to talk about the First Amendment. I like to talk about new media, because I recognized after 15 years, 20 years, starting with Rush, of new media, talk radio, as an everyday checks and balance against the mainstream media, saying, hey, New York Times, you got this wrong. Hey, Washington Post, you got this wrong. Hey, ABC, you got this wrong. No offense, they're right here. They took that public ombudsman not as we can make our product better. They took it as an offense from the American people. And it seems that as opposed to altering their product to make it more acceptable to the whole and not acting to the benefit of one side or the other, we find ourselves in 2010, the Tea Party movement, conservatives, at war with the mainstream media, at war with Hollywood. It's a very strange thing. We're just regular, normal Americans. We're not asking for anything different than what we grew up with. And these people act as if we're the last people on the planet that don't want to hold hands in that Coke commercial.
Right.
I'd like to
see
the world.
Right.
Like, how dare you not join this international movement? How dare you not sign Kyoto? How dare you not get involved in this internationalist mindset? But it's so 70s. It's so 80s campus. And that's what Barack Obama is. And so I don't like political correctness. They're boring.
Yes.
Somebody that wants to say this is what the correct opinion is, this is the correct word to use at any given moment, that bores the hell out of me. And Barack Obama, once you get rid of the rhetoric and the presentation, he seems uniquely boring.
I would definitely agree with that. And I see kind of a dichotomy here in that I want his policies to fail. I root for the team, not this particular coach. But also, the more that he says, the more that he does, the more line items that we see in the health care bill, the more people on the right he's shaking into action. So it's almost a symbiotic relationship. Do you think there's any chance that he gets reelected in 2012?
I don't know. I mean, it depends on what happens with the Tea Party movement. If people get intimidated by Alinsky tactics, if every time they call you racist, the crowd goes from 10,000 to 20,000, and that is a sign of defiance, that you're not going to accept the intimidation, that you're not going to. That's the goal, is to try and make it so people are going to be scared, because nobody wants to go into a crowd where they're called a racist. Just in my west side of Los Angeles, my neighbor, when she heard that I offered $100,000 for proof that the N-word was said, Rep. Andre Carson said it was said 15 times in that sea of new media.
How many cameras were there?
It didn't ring true to me in the slightest. But when my neighbor, who's just your average citizen on the west side of Los Angeles, heard that I did that, she said, "Oh, my friend said it's just so terrible what those Tea Party people did."
Yes.
And that was that's what they wanted. They wanted to send the message through the channels that they control that this is a toxic group of people without evidence. And it's devious. I think it's evil. Okay, I said it.
Yeah, I think it is too. Once upon a time in the 1960s, the left would fight and die for free speech. It seems like we've gone 100 degrees.
Look. No, they haven't. I mean, like the cliche is free speech for me, but not for thee.
Right.
I mean, that is the campus left movement. The thing is, I'm deriving a sick level of pleasure that at the exact moment in time that they're doing this, that the right has figured out these tactics and not figured out how just to stop them, but they're employing them as well. And, you know, I think that we can have a nice summer of love coming up. You know,
Summer of 2010. It doesn't really quite roll off the tongue.
I don't know. I think that this is a summer where you're going to see a lot of mischievous behavior from a lot of people that are going out there, and they're going to say, we're going to expose what's really going on here, and we have the power and the technology. That's a Steve Austin $6 million man thing.
We can rebuild him.
Yeah,
yes.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
But
I got you there.
Okay. Well, anyway, I have smiles on my face during the Obama presidency because the American spirit has awakened.
Yes.
We were sleepwalking through our consumerist lives.
You are so right.
And I'd rather, my last 20 years, there's not one product that I've bought that I cherish, you know, but I cherish this country, and I hope that the next 20 years we recommit ourselves to getting back Lincoln's birthday. We get back Washington's birthday, get rid of the buy towels, you know, President's Day. Start committing to the Founding Fathers. Go back to basics, and that includes fiscal responsibility.
You know, when we do that, we take this book, Rules for Radicals.
It's unbelievable. That is an inspiring book, by the way. I'm not just saying that. If you read Rules for Radicals, you sense his passion, and he's a very good writer. So it is not something just to read, you know, what the quote-unquote enemy has to say. It is a very good book. I mean, the very first paragraph talks about written for the have-nots and the haves, and this is all what who does he dedicate the book to? He dedicates it to his pal Lucifer, I believe. Yeah, I like that. That's a nice touch. Yeah, it's a nice touch. So Andrew, I really appreciate you stopping by. Okay, thank you very much. Pleasure. Thank you. Andrew Breitbart with FTR Radio.